What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Peeweedaplug, #1 Knicks fan in the world. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be something different and something new. Usually my videos and my content has some type of basketball involved, whether it's college basketball weekly, NBA weekly, my 2K content, whether I'm breaking down a player or a team. Today, though, we're going to be doing a Q&A. A few videos ago, I put in the intro that I get a lot of DMs on Twitter, Instagram, a lot of tweets asking me questions that are non-basketball related. So I wanted to take time out to give you guys a video or two to actually answer all of those questions with my fullest attention. So if you didn't see that intro, or if you had no idea this was happening, this is still a time to ask questions. Drop it in these comments. If you maybe watch this video and get inspired by some of the other people's questions, you may get a question of your own. Make sure you drop it in the comments for part 2. But without further ado, let's get into these questions, baby. So the first question comes from No Otto Ibra. He asks this question: what is the process like as Flex's manager? Love the talking vids and the mailbags. Keep it up, and also Flex killing shit too. Appreciate you, No Otto Ibra. The process is very simple. I do anything that he needs me to do from day one. Whatever he needs, I try to offer or help out with. So in early days when we were teenagers, didn't have the money that we have now, that would be helping go half on videos, helping go half on, beats, studio sessions, sometimes trying to come up with ideas, video treatments and video ideas, picking out a single. I help with album sequencing, so like the track list, what songs go first, what's all the way to the last one. I never ever would an artist tell them what to do as an artist. That's what makes them them. But once the music is done and created, my job then is to come out and map it out, put out a plan, and try to figure out how to make that music reach its fullest potential. And that's pretty much my role. And then just managing any situation, you know what I mean? Trying to figure out how to make a person as efficient or as valuable as they can be. It's a long process, but the good thing about a relationship like me and Flex is it's deeper than manager and artist. That's really my brother. Since day one, we've known each other for 10 plus years, 15 years or some shit probably by now. And we've been tight before music was ever involved. So it's a bit different. It's not the typical manager artist relationship, because like I said, that's my boy. And we also are deeper than manager and artist. We're business partners. You know what I mean? Anything I can do to make his life as an artist easier is basically what I try to do. And that's what every artist on Rich Vision. The point or the goal is to put them in a situation where the only thing they have to worry about is creating the art. You know what I mean? So I'll answer emails. I'll talk to people for you. I'll go out and get beats. I've tried to find beats for artists. I'll try to get you the cover art made, book things for you, whatever you need to help you solely focus on just the music is what I try to do. Now, you have some artists that are hands-on. Flex is one of those hands-on artists where you're never going to just have him just create and then he's not going to care about the other stuff. He's involved on almost every single thing, rightfully so. But me as a manager or just as a label head at Rich Vision, I want every artist to be in a situation where they can truly solely focus on their art, and then anything else outside of that they can put on my desk or put on our desk at Rich Vision, and we can handle it for them if that's what they want. But that's truly the process, man. It's truly the process. And Flex is an incredible guy to work with because, like I said, he cares. So a lot of the times he's usually involved on everything that's around his music. So he's real easy to work with. Next question comes from Zefs or Zvex. He says, question P, how do you manage your time doing all the things you do, like podcasting, your own YouTube videos, managing Flex, personal things, and still got time to interact with fans? Well, it's an old saying, and they say, you make time for things or people that you care about. So for me, it's a priority. You know what I mean? First and foremost, the YouTube videos, podcasting, managing Flex, all of that is my job. That's what I do. You know what I mean? This is my career. So it's a priority for me. That's what life is all about. It's about prioritizing things. You don't really see me when you see me on social media from a distance. You don't see me doing too many things. I'm not a guy. I'm not at the club. You know what I mean? You haven't seen me post vacation pictures or things like that. And that's because I'm prioritizing things that are on my plate. I'd rather be in the house making this YouTube video, communicating with you guys or tweeting at you guys and answering questions or interacting than to be in the club. I'd rather be in the house watching 15 different basketball games from NBA to college, scouting high school prospects than to be on vacation. I'd rather be in a studio with Flex, being a part of his creative process for his next album than just being out hanging out. You know what I mean? This is a priority. It's a love. It's a passion. So when you reach a certain level with your passion, it doesn't feel like work. So it isn't like, man, I don't have time. It just becomes a part of you. I wake up and I think basketball. What am I going to create today with basketball? Same thing when I'm going to sleep. Basketball is on my mind. Ideas are racing nonstop on this video idea. What I'm going to say on this podcast. This team is catching my attention. I want to talk about that player. My mind is going nonstop on music, basketball, and life. And the people I love, they're a part of it as well. So it's not about finding time for me. It's just my life, and it's always been my life. So it's all I know, if that makes any sense. Wake up thinking about basketball. I go to sleep thinking about basketball. And my job, luckily, is to be able to create content around it. And then to have you guys as supporters, it makes me feel obligated to communicate with you guys because you're important to what I do. And, you guys are important to me. You know what I mean? So that's the best answer I can give you. It's not about finding time, because I think when something becomes so much a part of you, it just is what it is. It isn't like, I got to squeeze in 30. No, it's just like, this is what I'm doing. People around me, my family, my friends, they already know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? It's certain things that you don't even have to ask P or wonder. You know exactly what I'm doing because it's just been a part of me my entire life. So that's the best answer I can give to you. It does get tough. You know what I mean? But again, when you have certain priorities, you get over it real quick because this is what I'd rather be doing anyway. This is what I love. And that's what they say. When you find something you love or a passion, do it and it'll never feel like work. You'll never feel like you're missing out on anything because you're where you want to be. So that's the beauty in that. The next question comes from Nix. He says, question, at what age did you find your life start having a concrete direction with the podcasting and all of the other stuff you do? I'm 19 and I feel like I have a little direction at the moment. Kind of worried, but I'm not sure if I should be. Nix, you should not be worried, man. I feel like 19 is a age where everybody is going through that. I remember being 19 and falling down a little bit on myself because you have friends at that age who have graduated from high school with, they're maybe at college, they're maybe starting their what's the word in college where you find your what you're going to school for. You know what I mean? I forget the name. My mind's going blank. But they maybe have that figured out, and you may not know what you're going to school for. You don't know if you're going to be a teacher or a scientist. They may have it may seem like everything is planned out for them. And when you start looking around, you got this guy. He's got a job already. She just got a new car. He is a father. She's going to college. And you're just stuck there like, man, what am I going to do? But when you think about it, at 19, you're not supposed to have all of the answers. So I think that's what you have to remind yourself. But I think all of us go through that at some point. And I think 19 is usually the age. Because I've talked to a lot of different people about it, even my own podcast mates. And 19 is definitely that age where it's like you feel like you should have everything figured out. But when you think about it, you remove yourself out of that situation and just step back for a second. You'll remember that, hey, I'm 19. I have my entire life ahead of me. And as long as you realize that you need to be making a direction for yourself, I think that's an important thing. There's a lot of young kids who don't realize that they don't have a direction until they're 27. And then that's where it's scary because it's now like I just wasted my entire 20s sitting on my ass doing nothing and letting my 20s pass me by and I have no direction in life. So if you're 19 and you're already recognizing that, hey, man, I need to start figuring out my direction, I think you're already ahead of the game and you're ahead of the curve, and you should continue to stand on that and carve out the direction. You shouldn't stress yourself out about it and be up late at night about it. But I think, again, As long as you realize that and you can already sense that and you want to find that direction, put all your energy into figuring out the direction and solidifying that. And if you can do that in your early 20s, you'll be fine. Just don't let your 20s pass you by because you want to party or hang out or do a bunch of nonsense that isn't helping your future. And then you wake up one day and you're 27, 28 years old and you're like, oh man, it's time for me to get my shit together. Don't be one of those people, because then it's scary. Now you're knocking on the door 30. You have no degree. You have no real career path. And now you're about a decade late as to starting out your direction. So again, out of all the people I've met, talked to, I know famous people, I know people who are successful in careers that aren't famous but are just successful. I know people who've graduated college. I know people who are successful without college. They've all kind of expressed some early point, 18, 19, 20, of looking at everybody else and feeling like everybody else got their shit together and they're just stuck. You know what I mean? It's always that early age of 18, 19, 20 where you feel stuck. But if you can sense that now and start to put your best foot forward to find that direction, I think, again, you're ahead of the curve, you're ahead of the game. Now it's all about really putting in that work to figure out the direction. Just don't allow yourself to get comfortable, complacent, doing nothing, and then wait until it's too late. So that was a great question, Nix. I like those type of questions, because when you're going through it, it feels like it's only you, but little do we know, it's like everybody's going through the same shit somehow, some way. Next question comes from Deliberate87. He says, "What's your biggest regret or one thing you would change about your years in high school?" It's not a regret, but one thing that I definitely would change about high school is I would appreciate being a high schooler. Right? So what happens is when you get to high school, that's your last point before adulthood. So what we tend to do as humans at around that age is we get so excited about being an adult. We can't wait. Oh, 4 years and I'm in college, or I'm gone, or I'm 18, that we're just in a rush to get to 18, in a rush to just get out of the high school and to be in college and be independent for the first time, that we kind of rush through those years and we don't truly appreciate the high school moments. High school is probably some of my favorite times of my life. I love my life and I love where I'm at. But when I sit back and I think about the times of high school from 14 to 18, it was one of the rarest slots in life where you're still a kid, but you're a young adult. So you don't have responsibilities, but your parents are allowing you to have a little bit more freedom every single year. So now 14, you're a high schooler, you might have a little bit more independency. Now you're 15 as a sophomore, definitely getting a little bit more independency. 16, you know what I mean? You're 16 now, so now they definitely give you more freedom, but again, you're still a kid. 17, 18, those are the windows where your parents are allowing you to spread your wings a little bit, but you still don't have those full responsibilities of being an adult. You don't have any bills. You don't have to work a job unless you want to. You know what I mean? School is just still the focus, but you may be able to drive at 16. You may get a car. Your friends can drive. So now your parents are allowing you to go out to malls and leave the area. But when you're 12, 13, your parents aren't allowing you to get in the car with somebody and go to a mall. You got to kind of stay in your little surface or your area, or you go to your friend's house. But when you're in high school, you get to spread your wings a little bit and get a taste of being an adult without the full responsibility. Because once you're an adult, you got to now go get a job, provide for yourself, you know what I mean, rent, bills, you know, things get serious. But in high school, it's that blend of adult taste without the responsibilities, which is a very small window of life. That's very, very, very small. So I wish I would have just embraced being a high schooler. And again, I feel like I did, but I could have done it even more. And instead of, man, I can't wait to graduate, I can't wait. That's all you're going to hear in college is people going, man, 3 more years or 2 more years, I can't wait. Don't rush it. Enjoy every single part of it. Meet new people, you know, whatever. But yeah, just fully embrace being that teenager, that young adult without the responsibilities of actual adulthood, because it's going to be extremely fun. And it's that only time in life. You know what I mean? Because again, before high school, certain things your parents not letting you do. And then after high school, you're an adult and it's the real world and you have real adult responsibility. So enjoy it, and just don't take any of it for granted. I literally remember sitting in graduation rehearsal, and it was starting to hit me that, man, I'm never going to walk these halls again. Like ever in life am I ever going to walk these halls again, be around this many people. It's just, I don't know, high school was just, it was just free to me. I was just like doing whatever and having fun, and it was no pressure or no responsibility. And it really hit me in my rehearsal of like, damn, all of these people that I know and made relationships with, a lot of them I'm not going to even talk to in 2 years. It's besides my core guys. But in high school, you got like 100 friends. And once you graduate, that 100 just turns into the 8 that you're really, really like this with. If we being honest, you might see some on Facebook and Instagram and say hi, like a picture, but it's never going to be what it was in those actual high school days. Next question comes from Louis Bryan. He says, "Hey P, love the content. I'm from the UK. Shout out to the UK. At a university at the moment, and want to ask you how to stay motivated and how to maintain the passion for work. Would love to hear your thoughts." The passion the passion comes from the love of doing what you do. So I feel like a lot of people gravitate to things that will give them monetary gain. You know what I mean? Money. What is going to pay me the most? What is going to give me this or give me that? And that's how people fall into traps, because your passion is what you love. Money isn't really a passion. That's just something you want. That's something that you feel like you need. But that's why I feel like I'm in such a great place, is because I was doing everything that I'm doing now before there was a lane for it to make money. So podcasting, I was podcasting years ago before podcasts ever existed. At the lunch table, with my brothers, with my friends in group chats, Twitter debates, Facebook Messenger. I was having these conversations before they were ever willing to pay me, because I love basketball. I was watching games, scouting players before I ever started a YouTube video, because I love it. So now that it has created a way for me to make money, I'm great, because I've been already doing it. It is, you know what I mean? Like, some people see YouTube and basketball as a way to make money now, so now they're starting to do it, but it's not real, because it's not a passion. You're just following a cash flow or the more lucrative thing that's going on. You know what I mean? Like, some people, it was music in the early 2010s, 2012, everybody wanted to be a rapper. Now 2020, or a little bit before 2020, everybody wants to be a YouTuber. Now everybody wants to be a podcaster. People are just jumping on the get rich quick thing that they think is a scheme, the get rich quick scheme, but they all fall off because it's not a passion for them. They're just going where the money is at. And in another 5 years, there'll be a new thing. Everybody's going to want to be a fucking TikToker. You know what I mean? And you just see people jumping from wave to wave to wave to wave to wave before they realize, hey, maybe I should just gravitate to what I actually have love for, which for me was basketball. So like I answered with Knicks, I was 19 before feeling lost. But when a YouTube and a podcast and in the basketball world opened up for me to monetize, it was perfect, because I had always been doing what I love anyway. And that sometimes you just got to have faith, follow your heart, follow what you love to do, and the rest will take care of itself. But that's where my passion really comes from, is the fact that I'm doing what I love. You know what I mean? I'm really doing what I love. I can't stress that enough. Follow your heart. You know what I mean? You look at artists who like paint. Some of those people are like check to check, but that's what they want to do. And then they do it, and the next thing you know, they make a piece, and it goes for $7 million. But it's what they love. You know what I mean? Things come to you when you ain't chasing the money, because the money just going what's hot. It just follows whatever a trend is. The money is with a trend. So unless you're going to make a new trend and follow the trend every 3 to 5 years, you need to follow your heart and find out what you love, and that'll be your passion, and you won't have to worry about being motivated. And then as far as motivators, the world motivates me. You know what I mean? The world motivates me. I look at real world things rather than being a billionaire, because money motivates anybody. You know what I mean? But who's really going to be a billionaire? How many billionaires do you know? But every day when I go outside in the world and I go to a Walgreens and I see a 70-year-old lady working, that motivates me because I don't want that to be my parents or to be myself. When I see a young mother at the bus stop in the cold with her 2 kids, that motivates me because that's not the life I want for myself or for the people that I love. So when you have that certain type of motivation, you'll wake up and crush it every day. You know what I mean? My parents motivate me because they both still work. I have little sisters. I have a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, there's just certain things that is just there for everyday motivation. So you got to find those things for yourself. What motivates me may not motivate you. But if you find it, it'll always give you a motivation. But you can't be motivated every time you see money. It's not real. So that's the best answer I can give you. Find those motivators, follow your heart, find your passion, a true passion, not a money-driven passion, and everything will come out easier than it's been. I can guarantee that. The next question comes from Eoin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He says, question P, is this like what you want to do full time? For an example, the podcast, NBA Weekly, and the college weekly stuff. Would you want to spread your wings and do something else, I guess? Yeah, this is what I want. This is what I do. It's not what I want to do. This is what I do, bro. This is what I do. So for now, yeah, I'm in it. I'm doing it. I'm trying to just continue to elevate in any way. I know y'all can see I've been putting in a lot more time and effort into my YouTube than previous years, and I've been able to see the success of putting in that work. My subscribers have gone up. I'm making the most money I've ever made from YouTube. But I do think about, 10 years from now, there's other things that I have interest in. And there's other things that I do. What I do is I try to find my passions and things that I have a genuine love for. And I try to find a way to monetize it, because I know in life, as long as I'm doing what I love, I'll never feel pressured, or I'll never feel like, oh, I gotta do a YouTube video. Oh, I gotta do a podcast. That's where it'll never feel like work. So I have the music stuff, the Rich Vision stuff. Music is a passion of mine, so that never feels like work. And I monetize off of that. I now have an establishment with artists, producers, engineers, a photographer, DJs. I have almost everything that an actual record label has, and I've created something, out of nothing. And we're moving in a direction independently that's going to be sustainable. So that's music. Then we have Through the Wire. Through the Wire is something we built ourselves. You know what I mean? HOH and Bleacher Report, they're in the picture now. But that started from us in a group chat, and we went out and we made that out of nothing. This YouTube channel, 25,000 subscribers, which isn't a lot to a lot of the big time people. But when you think about 25,000 of anything, that's a large number. I created this by myself with nothing. So I find just different passions and loves that I have, and I find a way to monetize it. And it might start off little. It's always going to start off little. But when you put in the work, it's going to show. The work never fails. When you put work behind action or faith or belief, it's always going to come out successful, because that's all it takes is some work. And it's the same, so down the line, I would love to be a coach. I really want to coach my kids. If I'm fortunate enough to have kids that are interested in playing basketball, I would definitely want to coach them. And I want to be a teacher in some sorts. Maybe not the teacher that we know of, like being in a classroom, but I enjoy educating others and helping others, because I know what it's like as a 19-year-old kid. Like the previous question I answered, I know what it's like to feel like that. So I love being able to be in a position where I can talk to you guys like this and let you guys know it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? It's going to be okay. And a lot of people don't have older siblings or somebody that they can go get those answers from, because our parents just don't understand sometimes. They don't. You know what I mean? They're out of touch with the things that we deal with, and it's okay. There is a big age gap. So I noticed that, and I try to be a big brother or uncle or somebody to my supporters and people, because again, I know how important it is to have that extra voice or the extra advice from somebody that can relate better on a surface level. So yeah, I want to do a lot. I read a lot. I like reading. So at some point I would love to write a book. But it's about educating yourself about that lane and then figuring out the process. and then going for it. That's how all of my my methods been. I educated myself for years about music, right? I've been studying music since I was probably 10 years old. Um, and then we started doing the music at like 18, 19. So I gave my, that wasn't planned, but when I look back, that's how it happens. I was studying and educating myself about the game of basketball since I was 6 years old. We started the podcast when I was probably like, what, 2021? I can't remember off the top. That's like 10 plus years of doing that. The YouTube, I've been a fan of YouTube since I started the music. That's how I used to watch artist interviews when I was like 10 or 11. YouTube wasn't as big as it is now, but I still used to use it, and I never thought about being on YouTube, but I know things about YouTube. And then KB was doing YouTube, so I studied that, and then I got in it. You know what I mean? I watched plenty of video. I've used YouTube to YouTube. I've watched plenty of videos on how to edit, how to do this, how to do that. And I've asked people like KB, who I'm close to, who can give me that information, and then I did it. You know what I mean? So I would love to act one day. And if that was the case, I would have to take acting classes and do. It's just a lot of different things. Right now, this is what I do. I love doing it. And this is also something that I can do forever. You know what I mean? Nobody can ever stop me from talking about basketball, and nobody would never want to hear about basketball at the degree that I can deliver it. So, yeah, man, this is what I want to do. And as I continue to grow, get older, continue to be able to put myself in position to invest in my other goals and dreams, I'll continue to add to the list of things that I'm doing. I live by a motto that we have one life to live, and I'm going to do everything that I have love for or have interest in. I don't know who made the rule of if you're a doctor, that's the only thing you have to be. I'm going to do everything that I ever dreamed of personally. So, great question though. My boy D-Ball12 or B-Ball12. I think your name is D-Ball12 on Twitter, but B-Ball12 on YouTube says, are you planning to get more into YouTube? Yeah, I'm planning to get more into YouTube. I think the work that I've put in for 2021 kind of answers that question. We have a great year this year. This is the best year I've ever had because it's the most work I've ever put in. So hell yeah, my goal is to put everything I have into YouTube. It's the podcast, YouTube, and music. Those are my three things that I'm really, really doing hardcore. And I'm trying to put myself in position to grow my YouTube video into the 50 to 100,000 range. I'm close to 25K. Hopefully we can get that by the end of the year. And then, yeah, my goal for next year is to try to double that and get to 50K and then 100K and then, 200, 250, 500, a million. But I'm here and I'm putting out the content. I'm putting it out my way, how I like to deliver it. And if people like it, they subscribe and they get that good basketball talk and good basketball content. And we'll continue to grow as a community. But yeah, YouTube is definitely something that I'm looking to expand on. I got Scott for the win. He says, love the content, and my question is outside of basketball. That was a point, Scott. Thank you. I'm sitting on my lunch break at my job, which pays pretty good. I make money outside of work. Got a girlfriend who loves me. Got a handsome baby boy. Got most of the things I desired as a kid, and I still feel like I'm settling. I'm drowning into this pool of comfort. I want to tell you I'm trying to swim out, but I'm really not. Every time I want to start trying to do more, I just get these thoughts in my head of how small we are in the universe, and what we do doesn't really matter. Don't want a right or wrong answer, just some advice on how to start being positive again. I'm tired of that rat race I call my life. Well, Scott, I love the honesty, brother. I really do, and I appreciate the sincerity because I can really feel everything that you're saying as I read those words. As far as being positive again, I think it's here. I think you have to reverse engineer the way that you're thinking. You're thinking in a way that will make anybody scared, right? If we sit and we think about how little we are in the world, yeah, that's scary. But at the same time, if you reverse engineer your brain, that would also give you the same exact reason to do what you do, because you're that little. So it's like, why not? Why not? And the other part of it is, instead of thinking from a how small you are in the world perspective, fuck the world, with all due respect. Instead of worrying about the world, you should worry about who means the world to you or who you mean the world to. Because yeah, in the world's eye, you're small, but you just told me you have a very good woman and a handsome baby boy. So I'm guessing that you mean the world to them. So what you should start doing is doing what you do to please them, or to make them happy, and to make them smile and to make them proud, because you mean the world to them. Don't worry about what you mean to the world. Just worry about the people who mean the world to you, or who you mean the world to. Because that's at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You know what I mean? I don't know where you're from, where you live, but let's just say you're in New York. If you're in New York, the dude in Arkansas who is a part of the world, he doesn't matter, and to the point of what you're doing. If that makes any sense, we can't be focused on what we're doing to the world, because at the end of the day, the world is such a big place, and there's so many different people who are invested in so many things. And again, when I say fuck the world, I don't mean it in a negative way, but we can't care about the world that much that it stops us from being who we truly want to be and living the most healthy, positive thinking life that we can. We only do have one life to live, so you want to make the most of it, whether it's going to be astronomical or whether it's going to be minuscule. You want to make sure that you maintain your fullest value to yourself and to the people who, again, you mean the world to. You know what I mean? Your handsome baby boy, he's going to watch your every single move. So you got to make sure that you're living your life the best way, because you might inspire him to do some shit that will be important to the world. You know what I mean? Like, think about all the people who are important to the world and what they do. You know what I mean? Like the LeBron Jameses, the Michael Jacksons, the Drakes, the Will Smiths. You know what I mean? Those people come from people who we don't really know or really care about to a certain extent. But those people inspired those children, you know what I mean, to go and be these important figures in the world. So just worry about who means the world to you, and not what you're going to mean to the world who doesn't even know a lot of us exist. You know what I mean? If every time I turned to this camera, I was worried about the people in Oregon and what they're going to think about me or how they're going to take my impact, I would fail, because it's just too much to grasp in my mind. I have to worry about what I know exists, and what I know exists is my supporters, my family, my mom who's upstairs. You know what I mean? That's real, and those people are who I mean the world to. So those people are on my priority list. Until the rest of the world follows, I'm worried about who I mean the world to. So hopefully that can inspire you or answer your question in some way, form. Again, I love that honesty, brother, and I love the sincerity. And I'm rooting for you. I really am. I hope that you can reach out to me on Instagram or Twitter. And I would love to keep an ear out for the process of the direction that you go to inspire your beautiful, handsome baby boy and your good woman that's supporting you. Because I'm truly am rooting for y'all as a family. Last question comes from Gavino Matano. He says, put us onto free game, P. What was your go-to line when trying to spit game? I hate that I'm going to have to give this up. I really do. But because I love y'all, I'm going to do it. Spitting game is the dumbest shit ever. Right? Because it's not genuine. What you want to do is, when you see a girl that you like, or maybe it's been a girl that you've been liking for whatever, see a cute girl, whatever, you want to be as genuine as possible. Genuine is what wins. Everybody is looking for something that's genuine. And nobody wants love. They want real, genuine love. You know what I mean? You can get a lot of different love. There's people who can pay for your love and buy your love and give you everything that you need. That won't last. There's people who can kiss your ass and tell you that you do nothing wrong. That love won't last. But real, genuine, unconditional love is what everybody in the world is looking for. So you don't. And the other thing about spitting game is, like, bro, if you can say something slick to get a girl, that would make me nervous. Because if another dude says something even slicker than what I said, that means that he can take my girl. I don't want a girl who's just going for somebody who can say some slick shit. That shouldn't be that impressive. That you say some shit that's so slick, she wants to be with you now. Because that means, yeah, any other dude who can out slick you can now take your girl. You know what I mean? So that's the other part of that. And then spitting game is just, it's so 1980s and 1990s. Like, that's the shit that Fresh Prince used to do. Will Smith on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's like 30 years ago. Now it's just about being genuine, making a woman laugh. That's the only time I would spit game. I would say some corny, dumb, funny shit to make somebody laugh, just because I think making a person, let alone a woman, laugh just makes them so comfortable with you. You know what I mean? If you can make somebody laugh, you be able to break down their walls, you know, of whatever, you know what I mean? Their walls of shyness, or, you know, they're just trying to be so mean faced. You know what I mean? You know how people can be. They don't want to be broken. They want to put up a front like they're tough. You can break that down. You make a person laugh. So one thing that I used to do when I was in high school, I used to write my phone number or I love you on a piece of paper, and I would just go up to different girls throughout the high school. A lot of them I didn't know. I was looking for people I didn't know. It wasn't no fun if it was somebody I knew. You write it down, piece of paper, you like fold it and you drop it. Or if they're moving too fast, you just hold in your hand, you tell them, say, hey, you dropped this. Hand it to them. They're like, oh, thank you. You walk the opposite direction, because they're going to open it as they're walking into the direction, and you just turn around and walk away, and it'll be your phone number. Or like, I love you, and it'll be some funny shit. And then if you might get a text back. You might get a motherfucker who just thought it was funny. You know, you might get a motherfucker who hands it back to you like, I don't care. You know what I mean? And it's just what it is. But it was funny. And I got a couple of girls to text me. You know what I mean? So that was just some funny shit I used to do. But you also got one of my homies was trying to steal it from me. He started doing it and it got real lame. So watch out for those homies. But yeah, man, just be yourself. Be genuine. You want somebody who wants you for you. You don't want somebody that you gotta say some slick shit that ain't really your line, it's my line, so they really like Peeweedaplug and not you. Nah, you don't want to do that. You want to be yourself. You want to be genuine. Make them laugh. And once you make them laugh, you make them comfortable. Once you make them comfortable, you're good. You're all right. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate all y'all questions, man. Again, anybody who may have not saw the intro or knew that we were doing this, if you watch this video and any of these questions inspire you to ask a question, please drop it in the comments. Definitely going to make a part 2 soon. All non-basketball related questions, please. That's all. And if y'all like this a lot, we can make this a theme. This can be something we do once a month, once every other month, whatever y'all want to do. Y'all talk to me in the comments. I definitely will be checking them out and reading. Hopefully I answered y'all questions as best as possible and inspired y'all to go out and chase y'all dreams or chase y'all passion. As always, I love you guys. I'm Peeweedaplug, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.